Hi, folks. You're with Tastus today at your Pushback channel. Thank you for joining this live chat. And in this chat, I'd like to talk about how even business websites and business news sites and information sites that were supposed to be and were until recently 100% dedicated to talking about business and business stories and business issues, that even these sites have now completely rolled over and given over to the woke propaganda, the hysterical globalist woke propaganda that we see everywhere now. You can't walk down the street, go into any office or go into any public building, government building, any supermarket or any store without seeing some sort of woke propaganda being pushed in your face. And of course, on TV and the movies and everywhere else, we all know about that. But business sites were probably the last, or one of the last holdouts. Business websites actually talked about business. Shock. But even that's changed now. And just to give you an idea, here's one of the better known business websites, and they've got a news feed section that they put in, which again used to be all business until not that long ago. Used to be business news, or primarily business news. Sometimes you'd see the odd one or two stories where a CEO would say, we proudly announced we've met our black lesbian hiring target, or something like that. But that was pretty rare, and it was almost something that you'd have a chuckle over because of its silliness, but no longer. So here's the top 10 stories on this business or so-called business website. So the first one, just get this. The first one is a CEO standing there beaming into the camera, and they've just hired their first transgender hire, and it's a man in his mid-40s, pretty unfit, and he's bald, and he's got a 5 o'clock shadow. He's not a shave. He's got some badly applied makeup, and he's wearing a dress, and he's standing there with the CEO smiling to the camera. And this insanity is now something that CEOs want to actually go on the record and crow about, say, hey, look, we're so progressive and so woke. We hired this guy with psychological issues, and who looks, actually, the expression on his face, he looks intellectually challenged. But there you go. That's on a business website, standing there with the CEO standing there. A named company, by the way. It's not some little company out in the sticks. This is a named company. So he's there with his transgender hire. There's then another story about how society progressing it's being held back by these evil white supremacists who are under the bed in the closet and hiding in the toilet paper and everything like that. So the white supremacist thing. Here's another one that's a feminist story about how the government, this is in this case a state government, is exclusively providing funding for black female entrepreneurs. Now, I don't know how many of those are around, but they've got examples of a few, and it seems like it's out of a comedy or something like that. There are these people that are photographed and just quick bios, and it almost looks like that these people they've given up their part-time job in the meth lab, and they're now trying to it's just got that look of failure written all over. But these people are putting it forward as something very socially progressive, something to press release and be proud about. Look what we're doing here. So and there's other stories of again, feminism, family violence. Here's one on family violence. They're saying, there should be special leave and special dispensations of people who claim, they don't have to prove it, who claim they're victims of family violence. This, of course, is only open to women and looks like lesbians here, from the maybe gay and lesbian. So, and there's another one about lesbian artists or black lesbian artists, gay lesbian artists. So there's a story there about it, and then there's a few We could say they were business stories. So out of the top 10 news items here, 6 are woke nonsense propaganda, and 4 are, more or less business stories. I mean, there's another one, number 11 here is a guy who's saying he's adopted an African kid who's got a number of physical handicaps, and he's obviously looking for points here for being so woke and progressive and virtuous and all this sort of stuff. And God knows why that's on a on a business website, but they're and these stories that they're quite rigorous on the story. A lot of stories you knock back, but anything that's woke is getting passed right through to the keeper and is appearing on that business news feed. But if you want to do the reverse and say something that's critical about it, and say put forward a thing, well, look, this is a business website. These stories are nothing to do with business. You'll get a not so polite get lost if you send that into the the moderators and that sort of thing on the website. But if it's woke, it goes right through and it'll get star billing. They've also got another part of the website that's things like training courses, I guess you'd call them, and it's part of the subscription fees and so on. So, and if you look at the courses, it's how to identify your white supremacy, how to understand that you're a racist. Again, hysterical propaganda. But the courses have got names attached to them, either the people who produced the course or they're training them or something like that. But the courses are really the people are no surprise. And just running down the list, Goldberg, Stein, Cone, and the list goes on with the same sort of names there. So they're not hard to get the names and then look them up and see, well, what sort of people are they using for these so-called training courses. And if you go online and you look them up, they're people who have worked for well-known, NGOs, particularly Israeli NGOs, but others, and so there's these, and they're all girls, and one guy, but they're all worked for these NGOs in things like promoting mass migration and climate change rebellion and Black Lives Matter and this sort of thing. So they've done all this sort of stuff straight out of high school and during college, and then they end up doing this sort of I don't even call it work, this sort of activism, and then getting a platform, being given a platform on a major business site. But they all seem to be the same. People from the same tribe doing this, and that just seemed to be a bit odd. Wouldn't you just get a wide cross section of people with different courses and different views? But they all seem to have the exact same view, pushing the same woke propaganda, all with the same intention. So this is another step in the propaganda war that we're subject to. And I don't think there's a space on a wall or a window or a website or any part of the internet or anything at all that hasn't been used by the globalists to push the woke agenda and the destabilisation of Western white society. Anyway, that's my take. You've been with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.